there, I'm Tim Kern, half of the finance couple, and welcome to 2 Minutes, well, I was going to say 2 Minute Tuesday, but 2 Minutes with Tim. Thank you for joining us. Today, we want to talk about bond values and the banking crisis. And first off, let me remind you that in our opinion, this really is not a crisis. What we have right now is more of a crisis of confidence because a lot of people are feeling unsure about the banking system. So what happened is a number of banks, through, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, through ignorance, through greed, through stupidity, quite frankly, they didn't hedge against rising interest rates. And we all know interest rates have been going up and up and up for the last 12 to 16 months. And they didn't do anything to hedge against what was a portfolio of really good bonds. And that's what differentiates this issue, this crisis, for lack of a better word, between the Great Recession. Back in the Great Recession, there were a lot of bad bonds spread out throughout the system that went kerplunk, quite frankly. This is not so much a matter of bad bonds as it is a good portfolio of bonds, treasuries in a lot of circumstances that weren't hedged against. So the interest rate rise caused problems. And then you had people panicking and saying, I want my money. One thing led to another, and next thing you know, as always is the case, if the herd turns one way, the rest of the herd follows, and sometimes they run off the cliff, unfortunately. And so we don't think this is a crisis so much in the banking system as it is a crisis in confidence. People lost confidence in the banking system and got nervous. But again, we think this is entirely different than the Great Recession. One other point, though. With rising interest rates, a lot of people got caught off guard and said, hey, my bonds went down in value. Well, bonds, CDs, these are all securities that are traded on the bond market. And the way this works, the stock market's simple. If stocks go down, the stock market goes down. If stocks go up, stock market goes up. With the bond market, there's an inverse relationship such that if interest rates go up, then bond values tend to go down. If you think about it, it actually makes sense. If I buy a bond that pays 6% and I pay $1,000 for a 6% bond today, yet tomorrow interest rates go up, and with that same $1,000 I can buy a bond that pays 7%, well, then nobody's going to give me $1,000 for my bond that only pays 6%. Interest rates went up, bond value went down. So there's this inverse relationship. And that's what's been going on for the last year. As the Fed's increased interest rates, a lot of bond values have gone down. But that doesn't mean you've lost money. You never have a realized gain or loss until you actually sell a security. So I know I'm touching on a lot of different things, but this is really explains why or what happened within the banking system. Again, we don't think it's a crisis. We think it's based on, again, greed, stupidity, for lack of a better word. And so we don't see a problem within the banking sector. We just think confidence needs to be restored. People need to calm down and things will be fine. In fact, there's a lot of other things to be worried about other than the banking system, and maybe I'll touch on those next week. I'm sorry to make this such a long-winded 2 minutes with Tim, but this is important. And again, bonds and bond values are really different animals that a lot of people don't, quite frankly, understand in a lot of cases. So hope this helps. Hope you're having a great start to spring. If you have any questions that you want me to answer in the future, please email them to me at tim.curran@lpl.com. Have a great rest of the week. And as always, please mind your state of mind. Take care.